tonight for the warmer weather, for the promise of spring. Thank you for blessing us. Pray you would be with us tonight, help us make decisions as we go about the business of the township. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. Thanks for all you guys coming out. Such a beautiful day. There's probably a whole lot more you probably rather do. Thank you, guys. Okay. Y'all have a chance to look at the agenda? Entertain a motion to approve.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Approval of the minutes from last month, February 10th, 2025. Anybody have any changes? Corrections? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion.
I'll motion.
Motion made
I'll second.
and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Mr. Benson, you are up.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Sorry I wasn't with you last month. With Ransom having moved their meeting times to 7, and they're very brief, usually very brief meetings. Kind of difficult to be two places at once. So I have handouts tonight, so I'll get to this later in my report. But just some information from our new emergency management director, Jason Loudermilch. So a few updates to the Board of Commissioners. Last month, February 21st, the new Michigan Earned Sick Time Act went into effect. And if you have one or more employees and they work in the state of Michigan, you are affected by that, whether you like it or not. So we have approximately 180 employees at the county of Hillsdale. Some of them covered by collective bargaining agreements. One of the things under ESTA is that current collective bargaining agreements will govern up until the time of their expiration. And all 4 of ours expire at the end of this year. So that will definitely be part of our new contract. There were some changes made in that law literally at the midnight hour, February 20th. Employers have been given 30 days. Not that the law isn't in effect, but they've been given 30 days to implement. Basically what they've said, the Department of Labor has said they will not penalize any employers for being out of compliance. So, just a reminder, if you do have anybody that gets a W-2 beyond elected officials, so if you have deputies, deputy clerk, deputy treasurer, deputy supervisor, those people, if they are paid, you have to figure out that they are going for every 30 hours they work. Election workers, every 30 hours they work, they're going to earn 1 hour of sick time. You're going to have to account for that, and you're going to have a record-keeping component for that. So hopefully we'll all be able to accommodate that. I know at my business that will need some changes for us in the way that we record keep. Now, we actually were already doing better than as far as our paid time off, but we are definitely going to have some new record keeping requirements with that. We do have some changes at our district court. District court is one of the most people are familiar with rather than our upper court, circuit court, or our probate court. The district court is the one where you go to pay a speeding ticket, civil infractions, and landlord-tenant, small claims, things like that. So it's kind of the people's court. And Laura Ray, who is a local attorney, she has been the attorney magistrate. She oversees a lot of those hearings like landlord-tenant, small claims, things like that. and she is moving over to be the administrator at Friend of the Court. And in fact, she's already done that, assumed that position, and so she's already in place over there. And so to replace her, local attorney Rachel Dockstetter has agreed and accepted the position as the district court administrator and district court magistrate. So some new faces there in our local court system. Our last meeting, we did receive the annual report from our county drain commissioner, Matt Word. He is required by statute to present that once a year. A lot of good information if you're a property owner. Also, a lot of good information for lake folks because there are lake level assessments. A number of our lakes throughout the county, they have by circuit court order a lake level assigned to them, and they have to be maintained at that. And that actually has electronic monitoring equipment on those dams or structures. I always chuckle about the dams because Bobby's Lake, headwater of the St. Joe River, it's really just a couple of concrete pillars with some boards in it, not much of a dam, but that Bobby's Lake does have a circuit course at lake level, and so they actually do have remote monitoring devices on those. But if you did want to see that information, shows the fund balances in those, either if they're in the plus side of more money than necessary, or that they've expended. Some of the accounts, they will require assessments because they are in negative or in the red. So, but it's always interesting to look through that information. That is available on the county website, or you can stop into the County Drain Commission office in the county office building, and I'm sure staff there would be delighted to fix you up with a copy. But the easiest way to get that, access it, is on the Hillsdale County website. You just go to the Drain Commissioner's office and look. It'll be the 2024 drain report. Tomorrow we will have a discussion on increasing our county park budget. The Parks Commissioners, Mr. Klein being one of them, has made a request to the Board of Commissioners to increase their budget by $15,000. That's due to, number one, additional operating expenses that everybody has experienced in their home budgets or business budgets, and also additional expenses that the parks have incurred. So we will have that as a topic. Commissioner Ingalls, who is our liaison to the Parks Board, he will be bringing that resolution, and we will be, I'm sure, having some spirited discussion in regards to that. Storm siren testing. The handout that I gave you is a press release from our new Emergency Management Director, Jason Laudermilk. Jason started 1st of February. So he's a little over a month, a couple-hour meeting with him this morning just to see where he was at in regards to that position, since that is new as having a full-time person in that. Of note in there is the 2025 testing schedule. We did have our first one on the first Monday of the month, March the 3rd, and we hold two of those. That the first one and then the second one in September are held through the day rather than in the evening. And the reason why we do that through the day is for our schools, which are in session during that time frame, so they can conduct our tornado drill in conjunction with those weather warning tests. So that does give you the schedule for the rest of the year. You will note September is moved because of the Labor Day holiday, and those will continue through October the 6th, which is the end of the severe weather season here in Michigan, although it's kind of interesting in December when you see thunder snow, right? So, if you do have any questions about functions with emergency management, please feel free to reach out. Contact information, both an email and a phone number for Jason is there. His office is out at the 911 Dispatch Center. Emergency management has been located out there since that new building was built. And he will be around to all of the units of government within the county to introduce himself, give you an update of what he's doing in that office, and if you have any questions at that time, would be delighted to address those. To that, as far as meeting schedules go, you may have heard from Clerk Dave Dane that the new directories in regards to all units of government throughout the counties, those are in the final proof stage, and those should be pretty soon available in the clerk's office. Generally does a good job of getting those out to all the local units as well, and it's handy information for anyone who might need to attend one of those other units. I know a lot of times my townships that they'll have roads that are a township boundary, and they'll need to go to an adjoining township, so it's nice to get that contact information, that email. And for the public, once those are out, I'm sure it's pretty good, you'll get a press release out, and generally they have those on the counter while they last. Those are paid for by ads in them, and the clerk's office has been doing those for as long as I can remember. So they do sell some advertising in it, that covers the cost of printing. But they don't do another run, so when they're gone, they're gone. And that completes my report for this month, unless you have questions for me.
Anybody got any questions for Mr. Benzee?
Maybe, Mr. Commissioner, I thought I heard you say Lake Bawbees in regards to the dam. Did you misspeak? Were you thinking Bel Air, or is there a
No, Bobby's Lake does have a dam on it, and it does have a circuit port at lake level.
Gotcha.
So it is one of our many, but my example there was simply that it's really not much of a dam. If you look at the dam at Lake Bel Air, it's got this time of year, and you get a lot of runoff, snow melt, spillway works, and it's a lot more impressive. And there's a spillway at Mary Lake, there's a spillway on a number of the other lakes around the county. There's no spillway. So it's just, like I say, it's a couple of concrete pillars with some boards in them. So.
Is that near the power plant?
It is right near the house. So Lake, the name of that street is Lake, and if you go towards the American Legion, where the last two houses are on each side of the road, immediately following that is where that dam is at.
Thank you for that clarification.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Klein.
Thank you for allowing me to speak. Gotten many phone calls about the gravel roads, and the best thing is today with the sunshine, they'll start to dry out. Road graders and operators will be out. As I've told many people that have called me or emailed me, that the County Road Commission maintains the gravel roads. Any major work that's done on them is on a cost-sharing basis with the township. That's according to the Michigan Transportation Fund, and that's how it's been done for a long time. I attended a seminar, legislative seminar for Farm Bureau last week in Lansing, and I, along with Commissioner Gary Langer, who was a Farm Bureau member, were talking with our representative and state senator, Jennifer Wirtz and Senator Bellino, and we were discussing an increase in the road funding. And the Republicans have presented a plan would increase road funding $3.145 billion, and it would not be a tax increase. It's more or less a tax shift from other programs and priorities. And this would go to local roads. It would not be going to like MDOT, or just be township and county roads. And it's badly needed. Our funding has been down. In fact, I've reported to this board and the other boards that our budget is down because of no bridge funding. The last bridge funding we got was for the territorial road bridges. And for the last 2 years, we've gotten no funding for bridges. And it's badly needed. We have culverts and bridges throughout the county that are getting in need of repair. And so what I'd like to do is encourage people to either email or write a letter to not so much Senator Bellino or Representative Wirtz, but if they could find representatives in other counties and let them know that they need to vote for this when it comes up. And the governor has presented her own plan, and it's actually a tax increase, but she only puts $1.8 billion towards local roads. The rest of it goes to MDOT roads, and so it wouldn't really benefit our local roads. So, which is why I'm presenting this plan here from Representative Linting that would get us more money. And I will probably find representatives and senators in other districts that if people are so interested, I'd be glad to share that with them so that they could email and write, read, and phone, and let those representatives Other than that, that's about all I got to report. Hopefully this week it's supposed to stay pretty good and we'll get some work done on the gravel roads. If there's any questions, comments,
Hey,
glad to hear it.
you said that, any major work to be done on the gravel roads is on a share basis.
Correct.
So clarify that.
Michigan
Potholes
The
or?
Michigan Transportation Fund says that all work on secondary roads will be, it's very similar to the contracts that you guys signed at your last board meeting.
Right.
Now, yes, under maintenance, road commission will fix potholes. Now, we're talking like ditching, deburning, tree removal. The other stuff is maintenance, and the road commission does do the maintenance. But as far as the major projects, like if you've got water on the road, and it can't get off because of a burn, and it's a big burn, that has to be done on, and it's always been that way. It's always been a cost share basis for the townships.
So, in the future, you're talking about, we're talking about deburning.
Correct.
So, deburning is the way to eliminate that water on the road.
Correct.
So, that would still fall under maintenance.
No.
Right?
No. Depending on the size of the burn. If it's just, say, a 3 or 4 inch burn, yes, a motor grader can take that off. And probably even bring it into the road, mix it in with some of the material that's already there. Now, if it's a big burn, say a foot burn, no, that's gonna have to be removed and hauled away.
Okay.
And that would be a cost share project with the township.
So are we looking at trucks going out and knocking the potholes down, or are we looking at road graders?
Depends on how bad the potholes are. If the potholes are bad, it'll have to be a motor grader with all I think is a scarifer, but it's not a scarifer, it's the carbide teeth blade that they use on the gravels.
I see some of the roads.
The trucks are equipped with those blades too, but they don't have they don't have the control over their blade that a motor grader has.
I see that some of the roads have been done in Adams Township and some in others. But I have to, the trucks are only digging, 4 inches into the dirt
Probably.
on a 10-inch pothole. So are they gonna go back over those again?
Yes, all the roads will be graded with a motor grader before we apply brine, which we're hopefully gonna do that next month. Excuse me, weather permitting. But this is just to get the roads passable for now, because they have suffered during the winter and the wet weather that we've had, and hopefully we won't get much more.
Well, I appreciate that. Anybody else got something for Mr. Klein?
I have a question. I didn't get that really. As a representative said no funds available. Does it make any sense if a private person writes an email to whom and complain or so for what you said you talked to representatives and didn't get a result?
The bill hasn't come before the entire House to be voted on, to be sent on to the Senate, to where it's approved in the Senate for the governor to sign. But what you can do is you can contact a senator or a representative and say that you support this bill, and therefore, hopefully they'll listen to you, or they'll...
What is the bill called, please? Don't need the number, the name.
I thought there was a number here. Yes, it's a House Bill 4180-87.
Can I have 14?
4180-87.
Okay, okay.
And it's put forward by Representative Riley Linton. So, if people will do that, it's greatly appreciated, and it helps us all. I talked many years ago when Eric Lloydweiser was our representative, and I asked him at that time, I estimated $6 billion to fix the roads. And so you probably could double that now. If there's no more questions or comments?
Yeah, I got one for you.
Yes, sir.
How come my section of the road's the only one didn't agree to today?
They probably haven't gotten to you yet.
They graded all the other 3 corners. I
I
guess
can't,
I'll start grading them with tractor then. That's what it takes.
I can't answer that for you, Glenn, because I don't know who.
Steve Cook does it every year.
Not Steve Cook, he's dead.
Well,
Dave.
Dave, yep. Burn out Dave, yep.
Yeah.
Every year.
I will pass that along to the road commission.
Yep, every year. That's what happens. Everything gets graded but ours.
How bad is it?
Well, it's bad enough I broke a shock on my truck.
They may be waiting for motor repair. But
Well,
that's
let's put it
just
this
my-
way. It's better now because I went down with the tractor.
Okay. I fully understand that. Done that myself.
If that's what it takes, I guess that's what I'll keep doing.
They will be out.
Nope, they were out today. My wife just come home and said, oh yeah, everything's done but our section. Just like every year.
I will pass that along,
Okay.
because if he's in the area, he should have done your road too.
Who's done everything, because she came from Hillsdale down the rest of Walker Road. And it's done, and Holcomb's done.
Yeah, the home's on the other side.
Exactly.
Okay.
Our section is done.
I will pass that along to the road commission tomorrow.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Anything else for Mr. Klein? Hearing none. We'll go on to public comment. Remember, public comment. Direct your comments to the board, not amongst each other. Do not talk amongst each other. 3 minutes. Keep it respectful. Who is first?
I received some mail at the tail end of last week from the Greater Hillsdale Humane Society. My question to this board is, do you furnish or do you sell property owners' addresses to anyone who solicits?
Don't think so.
I say this because this was addressed to my trust. The only people that have that is the township level, the treasurer, and the county deeds office. So Brad, I would ask you, do you sell? Does the county sell our information to different nonprofit organizations?
I'm not aware that we sell that, but anybody can make a FOIA request and they would probably get that. I mean, it's just like voter roll, you could get, if you wanted to see who voted, I mean, I won't tell you how they voted, but anybody who came in and voted, if you wanted.
But I'm not asking
Right.
about the vote. I'm asking.
But, I mean, it's all public record, so I guess my answer to you, it's all right, Mr. Supervisor. So,
Let's finish this so that, because we're really not directing comments to the public.
Well, I'm just asking,
I
because
get it.
there's only 2 sources, for this information. So I wanted to know who this is coming from, who is granting this information out to the public.
Yeah, it's not us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, who's next? Anybody else on public comment?
Hello, Mr. Johnson.
Yeah.
At the last meeting, we observed you vote raises for yourselves, and upon review of that, it may appear that it was not done lawfully. And if that's the case, I'm not sure that you have time to give yourself raises yet this year before the budget. So you
That's why
may,
we did it, excuse me, but that's why we did it at that time, because a month is skipped.
Mhm.
The budget comes out, we have the budget meeting on the 21st, it's already been in the paper, and that's why we do it in that format.
I know that, but it appears you didn't do it lawfully. So, in addition to that, Mr. Johnson went to the village meeting last Wednesday evening, and there's a couple things that were said that I might like to make the board aware of. One was, and you can check the tape to confirm if this is exactly what was said or not, but that this board would get rid of the recreation area to the school for $1. And he outlined different scenarios that could be. But I guess my question there is, I don't recall that this board ever voted on that in any public meetings that I've been to, and I've been to.
Hasn't been voted on yet. It's only a recommendation from anything.
Well, I think it's.
Do not have to be voted on.
I think it wasn't stated that way. My other thing about that was, we have a recreation commission, and are they making these recommendations, or, you know, are we following proper protocol here?
Okay, actually, I'm getting ahead of myself because I'm breaking my own rules. We'll discuss it amongst ourselves, and we'll let you know at the next meeting. I'll write it down. Other than that.
So then the final thing on that was, the ratios, Wheatland and Moscow have pulled out, are not part of that recreation to my understanding now. And, you stated everything would be divided by 1/3, which doesn't match what ratios we had before. So the rest of the board wasn't there. Chances are they haven't reviewed the tape, so I wanted to address the whole board to that end.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure that they are up on everything before we do decide to vote. Which will be soon. Thanks for bringing that up. Anybody else? No? Okay, moving on. Old business. The flagpoles. Did we get a quote on that?
Spoke with 3 companies, spoke with American Flag and Banner out of Clawson, the Flag Shop out of Livonia, and Cleve Flags out of Flint, and just astronomical quotes at this point. That's why I haven't brought anything back to the board. We approved $1,000, and these are all well over $1,000. So I'm going to continue getting quotes. If anybody has any other places they know that are more local than those, I'm all ears. I'd like to hear, because I think local is better than farming out that far.
Check with the American Legion in Jonesville. They've, if I'm not mistaken, they've been good about helping from time to time putting out flags in the cemetery. And you may have to push them a little bit, because back in the day, I tried to get some quotes, and I think they kind of forgot about me, but check with them.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you would, we'll table that till next month. Try and see what we can do. In the meantime, copies of those quotes.
Yep.
Thank you. Peterson Road.
They have their meeting
Tomorrow.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
so we should know that then.
Yeah, we need to know if we're doing Peterson Road, if they're gonna get their plate. Okay, I may, if I have time, go over there. Okay. What is Kirby and Hill cemeteries?
That is the 2 little ones that Greg Goldenwald does.
Oh,
Okay, his bids are very same.
okay.
He had said that he would, and I said, put it in writing, so he did.
So he's gonna do those two?
Yeah, same as what he said.
Now, we did approve Greg to do cemeteries? No.
No, he's the one who does, that's what I said, I'd ask him for something in writing, and that's
So until we get a,
I can go in the office and get it right now.
well, we would, this is just what we're gonna talk about. It's
Okay.
Kirby and Hill
Yes.
cemeteries, because we don't have that on the agenda to approve grant for cemetery. So, but we do have Kirby and Hill cemeteries on there, so we will bring those up. And Greg Womble has agreed to do Kirby and Hill cemeteries.
At the same price as last year.
Same price as last year. All right.
So you want that on next month, or what are you telling me?
Well, what we'll do is we'll table the Kirby and Hill cemetery. We're not gonna vote on the two cemeteries. And we'll add it on to the agenda with Greg Womble application for,
Okay.
to do the cemeteries. And
Under
then
new
we'll approve
business.
it at that time. So that will be tabled.
Then new business, we have the DNCI quote. We gave everybody a copy of that.
I see. Y'all have a copy of that DNCI? Have you looked it over? Any questions on it? Concerns?
Is this replacing some hardware we already have? or is this
Yes,
in addition to-
yes. This is going to replace, the unit with the Protect Network video recorder. That allows that we have the right amount of days during the election for retention period. The external drive that we used did not work. So this is what he is proposing to do. If you want him to come out, Robert's more than welcome to come out if you want more information on that.
Well, I was just curious because we just put a lot of this stuff in, not that long ago, and I thought maybe if there was, I didn't know if there was any, if they would want our equipment, since I was only a couple years old.
No, because that equipment was strictly for cameras,
Yeah.
and the only retention you had was 5 days. That was the thing. You put up 7 cameras, but retention of 5 days does not meet the requirements now. And it'll be a whole upgraded system. After 30 days, it'll automatically delete. You know, months out of 31, it goes to delete 31 days.
Okay.
Do we need to discuss it?
We have to have cameras, that's all I can tell you. We have to have the ability to do more than 5 days.
Right. Okay, if you all have nothing to discuss onto it, I'd entertain a motion to do the improvements on the video for the township hall.
I have a motion.
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? All opposed? Okay, treasurer's notes.
On the report is just the investment report, and I have one thing that we had the city with Kind National Bank mature first part of March, and I opened another one with them for 7 months. So I just got the money to move bank branch. So it matured on the 3rd, and I opened it here this week. Within its 7 to 8 grace period cast out there, so.
So the other one you rolled, right?
You're right, it just closed and matured.
Okay, so you want us to authorize,
Just to say, I just will open another CD with the same Kind National Bank. It rolled over in this, that's it
are
matured,
you
just,
doing it for another 7 months?
you know.
Okay, so
We should go down.
Yeah. I need a motion for him to, let me get this straight, reopen a CD
Right,
Yeah, 'cause
that is rolled over.
roll over, right, open a new CD, correct?
We don't
but, the banks will get more tired, so the back office needs some, just that reporting that we're open, that money closed, and open another one
Yeah,
there.
we just send the minutes along with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
I'll motion.
we have a motion, do I need to get a second?
I'll second.
And a second. All in favor? All opposed? Okay. It's just one, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that all for you, Dave?
Yeah.
Bills?
Do you need a motion to accept the treasurer's report now?
Oh, did we? Oh, yeah. All right, I'm sorry. I will entertain a motion for approval of the treasurer's report.
I'll motion.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor? Approved. My fault, sorry. Bills? Y'all had a chance looking over? You see anything that's, you need to talk about, concerns, changes? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to pay the bills in the amount of $5,823.14.
Make a motion to approve the payment.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? Bills are paid. Cemetery bills. Any questions, changes? None?
Maybe just a spelling correction.
You guys done with the correction?
Rob out of there.
Oh, yeah.
That's my eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Cemetery bills are in the amount of $900. Entertain a motion to pay the cemetery bills in the amount of $900
I'll motion.
with the spelling.
I'll second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Clerk's notes.
AP applications went out today. I had some people ask for them. Keep in mind that if you're not on the permanent ballot list, you will need to request an ID for any election from now on. Other than that, I had more things I had to do with the IRS regarding a quarter that was paid twice, but the previous quarter was not paid at all, so I got a refund check. We got that deposited, and I got a letter to them, and then it'll go out in the mail in the morning, and I'm tracking it.
Okay, anything else?
No.
Okay, I have nothing for supervisor. Public comment, second time. Remember, 3 minutes. Keep it respectful. Please do not talk amongst yourselves. And you have 3 minutes. Who's first?
Me?
Yes.
Where is Hill Cemetery?
I have no idea.
Kirby is on Lake Pleasant Road, but where is Hill?
I don't know, but he's always done those two. That's always what's on his bid. In fact, I think this is a copy that he gave me of his last year. He put a date on it, and it's the very same one. Kirby and Hill Cemeteries.
I don't
Do
know.
some research, gotta find out, we're paying.
You know where it's at? Where's
If you come back from where Bruce Caswell is, Pittsford and Bacon, maybe 2 miles, and you might help.
Oh, yeah.
So a road that goes up about 2 miles and then turns, or a mile and a half.
There's a cemetery on Holcomb Road.
Is it Holcomb?
Open?
Holcomb and Robbins Road.
Yeah, well, it's back, it's between Bacon and Rock.
It's just north of Bacon.
Yeah, just one up
Yeah.
there.
So is that Robin?
Yeah, it's, 'cause my son's on trip, so it's.
One more mile or
Yeah,
half a
yeah,
mile even
Yeah,
east?
I go Robbins Road is the road.
Yeah, it's between
Yeah.
Bacon and Rock.
And it's not very big,
No.
and I've owned property out there since 1984. Other than getting mowed, I know it's been buried there that period of time.
Okay.
Pretty much the case, I think.
Anybody else on public comment? Yes, Mr. Herman.
I have a general question. Is there a possibility for the public of getting information somewhere in writing from a website or so, like minutes, what is being discussed? Is it allowed or not allowed? What's the ruling? I ask because if I get an agenda like this, and I see the guy's point, I don't know what is behind it. You know, when I hear the DMCI camera retention, I ask, you are discussing it, and I ask what is behind it. So
What if I'm not, you know we have the cameras.
yes,
This is just for the retention of the filming that they do. Mainly for the state election board, because once the election starts, that box has to be recorded for so many days.
thank you very much. That's your explanation for this subject. I just need, like, I have an example. Our Lake Association, we have a website, and we publish the minutes, which we have decided by the bylaws that we should do that. So when the public comes to a township meeting, they get the agenda, they don't know what the minutes were from the last time, what was discussed and so on. I do not know whether that is supposed to be publicized or not, or whether it is just amongst the board. This is my question. What is the ruling?
If you want, you can always come in and get a copy of the minutes. But no, we don't have a website at this time.
So would you think to advise public a little bit what is going on, whether there is a way of giving them a little bit more information, or is it not required? I'm not critical, I'm just asking a question. What would be a way that the person who comes from the public, they don't know what you have got in your papers and what you are discussing and what is up to date. We hear there is the flagpole, the Peterson Road, and so on. These are matters which you as board know, but the public hasn't got a clue what is being discussed about Peterson Road. So that's my question, whether there could be a little bit more informative probably in the agenda. I'm not critical. Just asking.
Those are all in your own business. All that was discussed in the last meeting.
But you can come and get a copy
Yeah.
of the minutes, the previous minutes, or any minutes that have been spoken of in a board meeting. They're all kept as public record.
Can I get the minutes
Sure.
before the meeting?
The old minutes?
The old minutes, as long as the minutes have been approved, they're available, yes.
Then after they've been approved.
Yes.
Okay. So basically I could walk away tonight with the minutes from last meeting.
Yes.
Okay. That's excellent. Thank you very much. Then I know what has been happening.
Okay.
Okay. Please don't take it as criticism. know what is being discussed and what is being decided.
Sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Just to piggyback on that, I think what he's saying, you guys say, hey, we've got a DCMI quote, are we gonna vote on it? It would be nice to hear some background, hey, this is what it's for, this is what it's replacing, this is what it's doing, same thing with the treasurer's report. Hey, here's the treasurer's report. Nothing said about it, nobody knows, nobody has a clue. I get it, we can come look for it. But a little bit of discussion on the board would be helpful to put it in context. So it's not just subject item vote.
Can I add to that?
I'm sorry.
I've been to several township meetings myself, and I will say, they have the minutes from the last meeting laying out on the table, and they have the treasurer's report laying out on the table, so anybody can see it. And our township has never, ever, ever, ever done that.
Something to do in the future. What else? All right, anybody else?
I would just echo that, because it's interesting, I was thinking of that same thing that Carl brought up and Janice. It wouldn't take an awful lot, it's a little bit more work for you, but there are many townships that do have really pretty comprehensive report available for the public to look at.
Well, that's an idea for us to put that out. That's not something that would be terrible.
Got something else?
Oh, I'm sorry.
What is the old business on Peterson Road?
We discussed whether or not we're in partners. Peterson Road, and the other township is Jefferson.
Okay.
They're balking on getting it done, and we're hoping at their next meeting, which is tomorrow, that they'll agree to get it done so that we can finish that project.
Getting done, paving it or like seal
And
coating?
we put a culvert in because culvert collapsed. We want to get it seal coated and chip sealed. Paver patch and chip seal.
Okay.
We've been waiting, so as soon as they agree,
Cool.
but we can't just do half of it.
Right, which part of Peterson Road is that on? Is that dirt part or paved?
Paved. It's already done up to the curve,
That's right.
and then it's the only part that needs to be done will be from the curve, off from Bacon Road straight in to the dirt part where Lake Pleasant curve comes
Alright,
from.
perfect, thank you.
It's a shared township line road.
Yeah.
The west part of it is Hillsdale and Adams, and the south part is Jefferson and
Right,
Adams.
and we did the Hillsdale Adams, the other part is Jefferson Adams. And we're waiting on them to either say, yeah, we're gonna do it, or no, we're not.
Okay.
And if they say no, they're not, it won't get done.
Okay.
Sir, can I have your name, please?
Ethan?
If,
La-
I'm sorry.
Last name?
Britton, B-R-I-T-T-O-N.
B-R-I-T-O-N. Thank you.
My other question, where is Jefferson Township Hall, that right there in Osceola?
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, I've been there once.
Yeah, we're just waiting on them.
Okay.
And they meet at 7.
Okay. Does that start at 7 as well?
Yeah. All right, any more? None? Entertain a moment